Hello, everyone. My name's Nadia. You also know me like as Nakia Shade, which is my other like personal brand that I write my dramas under. But today I'm on the cool storyteller side of things, and I wanted to like share some updates with you about what I have going on this week, and then also to share some fun stuff that I learned from a networking event today. I attended a networking event, and so I wanted to share a couple of things. If you're somebody that's like nervous when it comes to networking, or if you're like shy, I wanted to share uh, some of the tips I've used over the last couple of years so I can become less shy, and also like some um some ways that like when you go to a networking event, how you can like make it really beneficial for you so that you can talk to people that want to talk to you, and so that you'll have um, a potential like opportunity for people to reach out to you, because that can be hard too. It's like the conversation and all other. Okay, first update. I have my notebook here so I can take notes. So let me do that first. I hope everyone's doing good tonight. It is a cold, cold night. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is I have a paper collage class on Zoom that's happening this Saturday from 1 to 2:30. I have an Eventbrite link, which I'll share. But I wanted to like, kind of go over like what it is that the class will be about. So this is my cut and create paper collage kits. If you've taken workshops with me, you know that these are the kind of kits I have as part of the workshops. I had like a research center for the arts workshop last month, and so this was like the kind of kits that the students use, but like a buffet style. So it's like you got the board and the label, and then you were able to have like a buffet of options. And then this is like all the materials that come in the kit: origami papers, felt, wool, yarn, um, markers, glitter, all these cool stuff. So those are the type of things that come in the kit. For the virtual Zoom class, you don't need the kit. Like use whatever you have available to you, whether that's paper or that's whatever like your favorite like materials are. You don't need anything super expensive or super fancy. Just use whatever you have. So this is the link to December. So this is the paper collage class that I have. So you can check that out if you're interested. And that's on Eventbrite. You can just go on Eventbrite. The other thing I wanted to share was that I had a Patreon, not sorry, Patreon, a Skool community, not Patreon, Skool, a Skool community that I have for the starving artists, fed artists. But I still would like to see more people in there. So whatever kind of creative or artist you are, if you're interested in working with community-based organizations to work with them for like workshops and things like that, you could join that and read more about like what ask the questions there. Talk to other people that are in other cities or states, not just in Oregon, but like in other cities that do the same thing. The teach workshops to community organizations, and then you can have questions in there. That would be good. I only have one paid tier. I only have a monthly one. I don't have a yearly one anymore. I just have a monthly. So you can join that if you want to. And then I have to get this printed, so it's not like an actual book. It's not an actual book. It's like the little folders, like the little paper version of it. It's not a dummy copy or anything. It's just whatever I have. But this is a book that I'll be um putting together and then putting it on like Amazon and as a physical book. This is a starving artist, fed artist book like that I made, and I want to expand it a little bit more, just because there's some new stuff that I learned from the November class that I taught. So if you bought this, which I don't think many people have, um, don't buy it yet. Let me finish updating it, and then I'll release it on like Amazon and stuff like that. But it's a good book. It I talk about really basics of starting this like uh creative, like contracting at like a really basic level, like how to make your first like $500 with creative contracting, different community-based organization. It's a great way to learn personal development as a creative, as an artist. It's a great way to learn how to network with organizations in your city and in your county, and it's a good little side hustle. I mean, you I sort of started out, I made like $300, and then now my most recent workshop was like 600. So if you're like teaching a workshop every month, or you're charging like $300, something like that, that's good money right there. So it's definitely something that you can do as like a hobby or like a side job. It would not replace your actual job, but it is something that you can do if you that's something you always wanted to get into. Okay. Um. Okay, great. So, the title of this is "Tips to Be Confident at Networking Events as an Artist and Creative." So, I mentioned today I attended a networking event um in my city, and it was really interesting because I was there with other people that were representing like a different organization, and I was representing my organization, my company, and then like co-representing their organization. So I was able to kind of like do both, like my own personal networking, and then help like with their stuff. And so one of the things that I um encountered was one of the gals that was there. A couple of the gals or there had mentioned like, oh, it's really nerve wracking for me to be at these kind of events because I just don't want to talk to people, or I don't know anybody, so I don't want to be up there. And so, as a creative, as an artist, you definitely want to take opportunities to network, to attend these kind of events, because networking events give you social proof in real time. It gets you in front of people so they get to know who you are in person, and it allows you to um, understand the needs of the type of people that you'd want to serve. So this organization is like for tourism in Oregon. So at this event, I was able to meet other people there that were in that industry and pitch, like, what I do, which is create a collateral aimed at youth, like edutainment, creative collateral, marketing collateral for youth. So that's like one of the things that my brand does. Like one part of my company does is that, and the other part is like drama division, entertainment, and education. Things like the workshops I do teach and the school community I have. So those are the type of things that I was like, offering. And so when she had said that, or the other girl had said that as well, I was like, oh, okay, I'm curious to know, like, just observe people. And a lot of people, I think a lot of creatives and a lot of artists struggle with that because, it can be intimidating. Like going up to a stranger and talking about your business, or like, what's your name? What name of your business or what you do, that is intimidating. It's not easy at all. Like it does take practice and a lot of courage. And I know when I first started doing this, even like 2019, 2014, actually, I was not good at all. I was a little terrible at it, to be honest. I knew my name, but my business name wasn't always clear, and what I did wasn't always clear. Now it's a lot more clear, but it is challenging, and it is something that it's not like the end of the world, You have to practice it. As artists and creators, we have to learn marketing, we have to learn like sales and things like that. And I think this is one of those most basic skills that you can learn because it's something that serves you well everywhere, not just in networking events, but also like with what you do as a in day-to-day life, in your interactions with people like at work or in your community or with friends, like being able to talk to people and really just connecting with them like as a human being is a really important skill. And so a couple of the tips that I recommend, like that structure, right? Like what's your name, the name of your business, and what do you do? That's like the most basic thing you could do. And so like my name is Nadia. My business is Gumroad Studios, and I am a writer and an author, and I focus on creative services with um, marketing collateral edutainment aimed at youth, diverse youth, and creative products aimed at like women and creative beginners. And so like women like my dramas and stuff like that. So like you might not have like the perfect formula, you might not have um like the perfect balance of okay, well, what do I do? Okay, like what do I say? Don't overwhelm yourself. Just start with like one or two things. Just say, I'm an author and an artist. Okay, what kind of art do you paint? I'm a painter, or I do this. Like start simple. It doesn't have to be this big thing that like you're not trying to. You're just making a conversation. You're trying to find common interest. And another thing with people at networking events is don't approach somebody that looks completely disinterested. I promise you, they don't want to talk to you. Like that was a big thing for me today. Is certain people, their body language was obvious that they didn't want to talk to me, or they were just not interested, or they were bored, or they were eating, or they were like doing something else. Talking to me was like not not on the list. And so when those type of things happen, I don't get offended or anything like that because I was able to read their body language and then determine whether it was like a good use of my time, to talk to them. So that's something that if you struggle with figuring out how to talk to somebody, just look at their body language. Like, are they laughing or are they talking? Like, people tend to be really expressive with body language, so you can kind of tell um like if someone's eating or something, maybe like he or she is just like, too busy to talk. So, that's not the conversation's not gonna happen. That's another one. And then the other one that is a really good tip for helping your confidence, bring stuff. I brought my greeting cards, well, these greeting cards, and I brought my Climate Keepers comic. And so I was able to take these with me, have them in my purse, and be like, oh, somebody's okay, what do you do? And I'd be like, I make this type of stuff, with community based organizations, with nonprofits, federal, state, local, county for marketing collateral. And then I have greeting cards for my audiobook drama for women. So have you had stuff like this? It gives people social proof. It gives them physical stuff that they can take with them, and it allows people to understand what you do in real time. Because a lot of people have some digitally, and I'm sorry, but with the rise of people using AI and people uh, creating AI generated websites and templates and paying $5 or $10 for a website link to make a fake web page, people are not very trusting with things that are just online only. It's so easy to just make something online. So it's to your advantage when you're networking to bring physical stuff. It does not have to be perfect. Some of this stuff, like I had old cards, I think. The QR code doesn't work. It's a little busted. However, nobody's that nitpicky. As long as the whole thing, you'd be like, it's a prototype. It isn't the final version of what I do, but it's a working prototype. Start using language like that. Think about this as like an experiment. Every time you go to an networking event, you're just going to see if you can talk to one person, if you can share one thing about what you've done, and you can get one person to, hand you a business card. Think of it as an experiment. There's no failure. It's just, testing and trial and error and iteration. So I definitely recommend having physical stuff, physical copies, and most people won't bring physical copies. If you're an artist, And if you have a small thing that people can put in their purses, pockets, wallets, uh, slinging it under the shoulder, that makes you more memorable. I recently was reached out by a company that's interested in working with us for doing like a comic for their brand, and the contact person, the point of contact, was like, "Oh, I remember your stuff because you were at a networking event like 2 years ago, and now I remember it." And I was like, you just don't know when you go to networking events when this kind of stuff's going to pay off, like, but it does. And so I think be as prepared as you can be with this kind of stuff. It's really important, especially if you are a new or you're a beginning artist. If you're someone that's if you're a woman that's like neurodivergent, or you're a woman that can get really overwhelmed and overstimulated, stuff like that. This keeps you on track. You can have, and if you don't know what to say, have a piece of paper, write down what it is you want to say. What's your name? What's the name of your business, and what do you do? And then have that on your phone notes, and bring it up. Like, look at it real quick, and then bring it up, and then before you talk to somebody, then you won't feel like, oh, what do I say? I don't know. Because you already know what you're gonna say. You can literally write down your name too if you forget your own name. That happens. It can happen. No shame in it. It does happen. So I think that's a really good tip. Also, bring physical stuff. And then the fourth tip is, it's about common interest. Like, you want to find common interest on somebody. Maybe somebody's wearing a nice shirt. Maybe a lady's wearing a nice dress. Maybe a guy has a cool beanie. Or maybe sometimes people like to wear the name brands of the company on the shirt. Those are all talking points and things that you can bring into a conversation that feels natural, it feels organic, it feels like, um, you're starting from somewhere, and you're not just like, okay, I want to work with you now, hire me, or I want to work with you, give you a job, or I'm a business owner, let's work together. That's not always going to happen. But a good place to start is a common interest. And so that's a good place to start. Um, when it comes to rejection, don't take it personally. There's lots of different reasons that a company would reject you. And a lot of the time, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with board members. It has to do with people above them. It has to do with presidents, directors, executive directors, CEOs. There are so many people involved in larger businesses. And the person that you're talking to probably isn't the final decision maker. And if they do stuff in house, or they get contracted, they have contractors for other stuff, I would still politely ask if you could leave a business card, or if they can let other people know about what you do, that they come in that aligns better with them. They may not, they might um, positively, non-committal, say, okay, we'll think about it. But that's still, like, you made the ask, and that builds your confidence a little bit more. So, and again, if you bring physical stuff like a card, or a comic, or something like that, then that's something that they can hold on to, that they have on their desk, that's of interest. So that's good stuff too. And you can just put your little greeting card, your business card inside of it as well, or on it if you have some kind of like branding or something like that. So that event went really well. For me, there are a lot of people that I knew that were familiar, that knew me, that recognized me, even in um, my nice wigs. They recognized me. And then there were some new faces, and people liked what I had to offer because I had physical examples. That's the thing, like, when you present a solution to somebody, half the time that person is going to figure out, what the pain is, and the solution that you're looking for. And a lot of, like, when I'm talking to you guys, is like sales and marketing stuff. I've studied business a lot, even when I was in college, community college, and then in college, I took a lot of business classes. So I'm not a business person, but I know sales and marketing a lot more now, because it's something that I actively use. And so it's important, especially like if you're neurodivergent and you're like a woman creator, woman artist, and you're just like, you want to learn about that kind of stuff because it only helps you. Then you won't get got by other people trying to sell you on something that won't work for you. You know what I mean? Like, use yourself as like um somebody that you can test this kind of stuff on, and be like, okay, I want to learn more about this. Like, why would you want to learn more about what you offer? How would that help you out with what you're trying to do with like an event or something like that, or with how you want to present things? Those type of things are important. I had a program that I was interested in, but I decided I didn't want to join because I realized like it wasn't a good fit for me, and I just something that I was interested in. But I realized like the whole time I was considering the program, like a lot of the uh, psychology of sales was being used with me, and I was like, oh man, I hate that kind of stuff. Like, I think it's important to know how sales works so you can use it to find the right people to work with you and to find the right organizations that you want to work with, because you need to know what they want, what their community wants, how you can solve their problems. But when you feel like you're feeling pressured or something to buy something, or you're feeling pressured to decide something, take a long moment to be like logical. And not emotional, but logical. Be like, I don't think this makes sense. Why do I need this? Or why would this help me? Or maybe this is not a good purchase decision. Um, so just remember, sales and marketing is part of life, and it's something that's very important. But spend time thinking about that when you go to networking events. And a simple way, again, of thinking about it is um, connecting with people with common interest, keeping it really simple how you introduce yourself, using something that is on a person that you're talking to as a conversation starter, beyond just like the organization name, what that person's wearing, or anything like that. Have stuff, physical things with you, so that you have something to take, so that people have something to take away when you leave. And then when it comes to rejection, don't take it personally, because there's lots of people involved in decision making that doesn't start and end with that one person. Believe me. Um, Another thing is, like I mentioned before, like people will create like websites. I used to, when I first started out with my business, and I think at the time, well, this was like in community college, so my business now, which is Grandma's LLCs, I had like other businesses before that one, and so in community college, like I was changing the name of my business, and every time I had like a new business card, I'd get a reprint of them, I'd get a new domain, I'd get a new email, I'd get all this stuff, and now over time, I realized when for like a networking event, if you don't have a website, you could use like Google Sites, which is free to use. If you're familiar with Google Sites, you can use that for free, and you can just create like a simple, like, it's called a landing page. You can get something that you could use to like guide people to whatever kind of product that you're interested in promoting, or a service you're interested in promoting. That's like a simple page. I do that with like the workshops that I teach. I have like a flyer, and I'll put that on a landing page that I can send to like a program director or somebody of that nature that tells them more about what I do. So stuff like that is better than a website, because most people aren't going to go through your website anyway. If you meet somebody, a program manager that wants to know more about your collage, just send her to a landing page with like a flyer, or send a potential customer to your link to your collage class, or send your customer to your shop for your greeting cards. You don't need a website. You just need to give the person that's interested an experience of just getting what they get, what he or she wants from you, and then make it simple. If you start adding all these things, here's my website, here's this thing, you don't want too many decisions that would prevent you from making a sale, but then also like um making the person confused. Because after the event, it's like, what's this website for? What am I looking for? So make it simple for that person. Um, the event was really cool, and some things that I did initially when I learned how to network that I wouldn't do today was keeping what I do really short. It's author and artist. That's my main thing. And then I'm like, I'm business owner. Those are like the three things that I say to people, and it's simple and it's short. In the past, I wouldn't have done that. I would try to, you know, Frankenstein, hyphenate stuff, and it was just unnecessary. Um, and that's why it's important to have physical stuff with you, because then people can get a better sense of what you do, because it's something in reality physically that can be touched and interacted with. The other thing is I would try to force conversations. If you're neurodivergent, you know that it's hard to understand social cues. And so for me, again, it was only the last couple of years that I learned more about that kind of stuff. Um, like social cues and like reading body language as an adult, stuff like that. You you might try to force conversations, and then people might just get upset because they don't want to like, hurt your feelings. There's some people don't care. Uh, Definitely with guys, they will just brush you off and go to the next, like they don't care. Some women can be like that too. So it kind of just depends on like, if you don't know how to read the room, then it just comes to experience. So learning how to approach people with body language and social cues and things like that is important. The other thing is wear comfortable shoes. As much as I like to wear my heels, um, sometimes you just gotta dress for your feet for the comfort, or put some of those insoles in your shoes and wear them heels anyway, because your feet will get hurt. So wear the proper shoes, because if you're standing for 4 hours, it's gonna be painful. I know when I go to networking events, I dress to impress. I'll tell you that much. Like the wig is laid, the nails are done, the clothes are on point, the makeup is look great. You know what I'm saying? Like I dress to impress. I am unforgettable, but you gotta have make sure your shoes are comfortable because your feet will hurt. Um, And what was the other one? I think that's really important. Don't feel like you have to spend the whole time. In the past, I would show up early and I would leave late, and I would be exhausted. Networking event has a start time and an end time. Pick where you want to show up in that time frame. Maybe you want to show up a little bit later and start when it ends, or maybe show up a little bit earlier, maybe in the middle. It's up to you. You can make your own choices. So that's what I did today. I showed up late to this event, and I actually stayed a little bit later than I had planned to to the end. But it was good because I got to meet another connection and build like a connection that way that that I wouldn't have had if I didn't stay that long. So you just never know. The other thing is, like I said, connecting. This is about building trust, connection, um, awareness, and visibility with your brand. um, as an artist and a creator, you have like a personal brand. You maybe don't have an LLC or a corporation, or maybe you're a sole proprietorship, or maybe it's as a hobby. But whenever you're out there in networking events, you want to build up your brand, which is what people know you for and how you package what you sell or what you do to people so that they can understand. Your reputation is something that is just who you are, your character, your values, um, the way that you interact with others in the world, and things like that. So you're doing two things at once, and so you want to start off building connections, because that is the easiest way to find out if a potential community organization wants to work with you or not. Even as an artist, if somebody wants to buy something for you or not, that is how you start. Um, you have to start there. You don't want to think about, oh, I have to make this sale, oh, I have to sell this art, oh, I have to, sell this class, or oh man, that's first of all, it's a lot of pressure for yourself. Secondly, you know, this is not a situation where that's gonna work all the time. This is like, we call it like cold outreach. These are people that don't even know who you are. So the odds of them buying something for you from the start is very low. But again, that's why we start with like common interests and shared shared interests, and you like how someone's dressed, and you determine like what to talk about. All those things, and you have the physical. You have your physical cards and things like that. That's why you have these things, so that you're prepared. So I think let me see here. Display brightness. automatically adjust brightness or using power. For some reason, my dumb thing is being dumb. Refresh rate. I don't want night shift. Light. Okay. I don't know why my screen is dimming out there for a second. So like those are the things I learned today. That's what I recommend, and those are the tips that I would have done in the past that I didn't do today because I just you learn, you live, you get experience. Um, I also wanted to share. I had like a I always tell you guys I do Rotary. I had like a meeting yesterday. It was like a dinner event, and it was so nice. Like it's my birthday is December, so I really enjoyed being able to attend that and had such like a wonderful time. And it was a lot of fun for me because I was able to connect with different Rotarians in a different way, and um, just really appreciate like the kind of community and the culture of Rotary. And so um, it's something that I wasn't expecting it to be um, truly like a magical experience. Like the food was really good, the ambiance was really good. It was just a fun experience. And of course, I got all dressed up. Y'all know I get dressed up, so this was a fun, it was a fun experience, and I would definitely look forward to the next kind of like event like that going on. Like a dinner, yeah, like a dinner party. So it was like a really fun kind of event. And if you're like a Rotarian or an ex-Rotarian, or you're a new Rotary member and you want to connect with me, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn or on any of my Instagram, and I will like tell you more about what who you are, what you do. I'm in the creative industry, so creative products, creative services. I'm always looking to work with other organizations that are looking for creative marketing collateral and entertainment aimed at youth, or um, things like workshops, or if anyone wants to work on like my audiobook drama, publishing or helping with that kind of stuff, then definitely reach out to me. And or just if you're a Rotarian that's in Oregon and you want to grab lunch or something, like let's do it. Like I'm always up for that kind of stuff. I don't like to really like meet with people in person too much. I like to like do like write-ins and things, but generally, like I don't like to socialize with other people. Honestly, I like to keep to myself, and I like to enjoy my own company and socialize. If it's like business stuff or Rotary, that's kind of it. I don't, I don't, I don't have like a lot of. I don't have a lot of interest in like random socializing. But if you're a Rotarian, that's different. Then it's like, okay, we got Rotary in common. I thought I was gonna share with you guys the coloring page for this month, but I don't think I will, only because it's not ready. Honestly, it's been a long week for me. Um, I've been like scrambling to find more work because of winter break, and being a teacher, like there's not a lot of work. So I'm always like, okay, great. So I have to like figure this out for the next month, like what I'm gonna do. And as you guys know, I've mentioned this before. I have like multiple. I have like one business, and I have like two brands under that business. So I'm always like working on earning income through what I do, and then through my Skool community as well, which is a paid community that you can join for um, the. And actually, I want to talk about that. I'm thinking of changing that one to paper collage community, and then keeping the starving artist fed artist as a book and putting it on like Amazon and like physical books, like selling it like a library or something like that. Not selling it, but like getting into like local libraries or online or something like that. But definitely something on Amazon because I'm seeing that like it's just not taking off the way I would have liked to. And I've stuck it out for like 3 or 4 months with it, and it's still not exactly where I want it to be. So I feel like I feel like if it's something that can grow next year, I would keep it around. But I do want to start a paper collage community because I think it's something that would really be a good fit for what's happening. Even in general, I just want to teach collage. Like it's just fun for me, and it's I know like holidays are coming up, and the way things are going right now in the world, like people think the last thing people want to do is collage, but honestly, all I want to do is collage and doodling, drawing, and just having fun and doing things like that. So, but I'm always like playing around with like, okay, if I have an online community for collage, what that look like, or is it better to just post on YouTube collage video steps and then just have people join me um, for other kind of like a weekly class online or something like that. I don't know yet, but I have like the cool storyteller YouTube where I teach the paper collage and the digital collage. So I might try for that for this week. Posting like a little preview of the lesson, and so people can decide if joining for next week is of interest or not. Um, the other thing I learned from networking is word of mouth is really powerful, and that's why in my book I mentioned using Instagram as the best way to interact with people. Because if you live in a city and you're interacting with people or just in your city, your state, they can look at that stuff and be like, okay, like you're local, like you're somebody that's like, I can like figure this out kind of thing. It builds trust way faster. Like I mentioned before, now it's like AI can make anything. So it's like people, organizations, like they don't trust as easy. Like they want to see like proof. So that's why I mentioned Instagram, because you can just make a reel or something, or you can create um, content on there that's more flexible in nature. If you don't have like a flyer or a web page or a landing page, you can just put that stuff on there and then show people, tag the location, tag it so people know where it's at, and what where you're teaching your stuff at, or if you have a place that you teach it at, tag it with a location that's close to like an art gallery, an art center, or a community center. So just something that gives people proof that you're a real person, that you're a real artist, that you're real creative, and that you do real stuff in the community. Very important. I am doodling as we talk. Um, it was a cool experience today. It's really cool. It makes me excited for what I can do for winter when it comes to collage. And it could be that collage is like more of a summer thing or something, or maybe it's something that people just weren't interested in um, at different seasons. So I'm really curious to see where this goes, and when I record the videos, post them on YouTube, um, how that will go for different people. The other thing I wanted to share, which I think is important, um, I mentioned initially that starving artist fit art would be. Actually, I don't think I ever mentioned that starving artist fit art would be a course. I don't like courses. I, in the past, have had courses and I just completely abandoned them for writing, for professional development, for editing, things like that. There was one course that I did that was a normal course, and I spent through that thing because it was relatively useful. In general, though, I don't like courses. I like building communities because it's way more effective, and people will stick around a lot longer and have a reason to come back to it, as opposed to just this course that just sits there and collects like digital dust. So when I was thinking about the collage thing, I was thinking about making it like a school page for it online. People can access all over the world and enjoy it, and using YouTube to let people know about it. Post like little snippets of like the collage um, activities that will be happening. So I'm sharing that with y'all because I think it's interesting to consider. Like, there's so many ways to promote stuff. And, even I struggle with in-person promoting. I struggle with in-person marketing too because where I live, like in Oregon, there's a lot of retirees here. And so people tend to stick with the stuff that they like and that they know. They're not always gonna branch out to find new things. So it's like, how do you find where these people are and like attract them? And like, I'm, my budget is growing where I can market and do outreach more effectively next year. But this year I learned these things and I was like, okay, like, now I know where certain artists, appreciators, or people that want to take classes are, and so now I know like how I can get them interested in joining my classes and things like that. So I think just kind of keeping in mind like options that you have for that kind of stuff and what to do and how people can join and it takes work. It's not always super easy. Like, again, because I struggle with it even now. Uh, Finding like the right way to do outreach, marketing in person. But I'm learning with like along with you guys, so that's important to remember that it's a process that it can get better and better each time, and then you learn and then you improve, and then something that will get better over time. So it's not about being perfect. It's about just trying, and then trying again. Yeah. I watched the Game of the Year awards, um, and I was a little disappointed. A little disappointed. I'm not a huge gamer. I watch a lot of streamers, but I don't play a lot of games. But it was interesting. Some of the games that were picked. I'm trying to think of what else I can share with y'all about my time today. Always speak highly about yourself as an artist. Don't say you're a little, I'm just, and have positive, like, confident body language. And if you have something nice to say about yourself or you feel weird about taking compliments, don't make a face. Just be like, thank you. That's it. You don't have to believe the compliment. You just have to not shut it down. And so that's another thing too. Everyone at every age, 20s, 90s, whatever, who struggle with that kind of stuff. So um, don't don't be unconfident like that. Don't be insecure about compliments when people tell you nice things about yourself. Just take for what it is and um, keep going. That builds trust with yourself as well, and it allows people to realize, oh, okay, like you're somebody that's not so self critical, so you're easier to want to talk to and get along with, and somebody that appreciate your own worth and your own value because in this world, in this you know world where things are not fair and things are challenging and everyone has different experiences and things. You're the last person that you want against you. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want that. So always be like your best advocate for yourself, and whatever you do, it always have your best interest in mind. Um, Unless being self-deprecating is something that could be useful to you in a situation, but generally it's better to not be self-deprecating um, in a professional setting. Mm, I should probably hook up the phone so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I don't think there's any questions or anything currently. So check. Nope. No questions currently. Great. Um. Oh, when you're in networking events, always look your best. Clean clothes. There's like the top priority. Brush your teeth, wash your face, moisturize. Nobody wants your ashy skin. Nobody wants to shake your ashy hand. Moisturize. Do your hair, or wear a wig, wear a hat, or whatever you're gonna do. But don't go out into the world looking ratchet. Don't go out into the world looking like you rolled out of bed. Don't go out into the world wrinkled and sloppy. That displays low confidence, low self esteem. That you're not worth it because you didn't bother to put on clean clothes and put deodorant on, and you know if you don't want to smile, then have a nicer like a nicer neutral face. I know some of us have like a or like a I'm so used to it now. I do it automatically where I like have like a nicer resting face, like a nicer, more like I smile when I'm not smiling. I guess for lack of better word, because I just practice along. But you know, you want to project um as much of a fun or an interesting kind of type of uh persona of yourself in the networking professional setting as an artist. Because a lot of especially women, like we don't have that, like we don't want to do that for whatever reason, different reasons, different kind of conditioning, different beliefs. But that is your power, because then you're able to walk into the room and people are gonna want to talk to you because you look like you're fun, you look like you're something that's interesting, and then you have all your stuff, and then people are interested in what you have to offer. So, oh, okay, you're smiling, like you want to tell people what you do. That's great. So yeah, it works. Present yourself in a way that it benefits you. Let's put it that way. Construct an image of yourself. Like present yourself, package yourself, frame yourself like a painting, so that you look good at all the angles. Oh, and if you're the type of person that has a queasy stomach, don't eat too much when you're there. Eat something, because if you're talking for like 2 hours, you're gonna get hungry. But eat something slowly. If you do it like nausea, if you're like aching stomach, there's stuff like Dramamine, Nausine, Emetrol, ginger chews, like from the Asian section in the Asian stores. They got all kinds of stuff. Take some of that before you go, and you'll be fine. Or if you drink some wine or something. Drink something, some vodka or something. Call it good, because you don't want to cause yourself to be so anxious that you can't talk to anybody, or that your stomach starts to hurt and then you feel sick. And then for those that are nervous about networking by yourself, that is a perfect time for you to make mistakes and to try out one of the tips that I shared, because nobody's gonna remember you anyway. If you're with another person, then that you maybe if you're boring, if you're boring posture, or if you have you're just nervous, then that all the person's gonna talk to the other person. If your friend's more chatty cappy than you, or if your friend is more sociable, that takes away from your ability to practice. So go by yourself to networking event. And again, you don't have to do that for the whole time. Maybe set a timer for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and leave. Show up a little bit later. If you know the itinerary, show up before the networking part happens or the speaker happens. Then you can just sneak in for that and then leave when you're bored. You don't have to stay the whole time. I've done that too. As I've gotten to do this more, you don't have to commit to the whole thing. You don't have to. Oh, that's like a bonus tip: positive non-committal and neutral non-committal. Instead of saying, okay, so say somebody's like, oh, would you be interested in making this for us? Don't say yes. Say, that's possible. That would be something we'd be interested in looking into. Uh, Maybe we'd have to discuss it more. You never said yes in the other examples. You were positive about it and non-committal. And neutral non-committal is like, I can see that happening, or I'll look into that, or there's a chance that could happen. Those are non-committal. You don't want to commit to anything. I don't promise nobody nothing. I don't commit to anything. And what that does is life happens, right? So anything could happen that could disrupt you following up on that. If you are positive, non-committal, neutral, non-committal, then you're not overwhelming yourself because if you're already neurodivergent, if you're a woman and you're in these spaces where it's mostly male dominated or it's women that have more experience than you and you feel like you're new or whatever excuse you got, this allows you to build reputation in a way where it's like, oh, okay, that's reasonable. Like that you couldn't get that done. That's reasonable. You know what I mean? Like it just makes you trust yourself more, and it doesn't make you have expectations too high of yourself or overly trust another person um, to follow up on something. Because again, life happens, things happen, organizations can change overnight. It's crazy. People can get removed in like the next day. Happens all the time. So I'd love to know if you guys would be interested in a collage online, or if I'm just like putting way too much effort into this, and maybe I ought to just stick to the in-person classes and focus more on um, doing collage for my own benefit, streaming the collage for my own benefit, and then if people are interested, then maybe opening up a class that way. I think that might be that. Actually, I think that might be what I'll do. I'll just stream the collage on the times that I said I would on those days, and then post the recordings. Um, I'll let people know about it. And you can sign up like on Zoom to watch it, to play back. Then I'll like leave a little snippet on my YouTube so you can watch it. Something like that. Something like that. I don't know for sure. There's this new game called Marvel Rivals, and I'm like very interested in it. I love the character design of Rogue. I think she looks like really attractive, and I was like, oh my god, she's buff. She's a buff lady. There's other characters I'm not familiar with. Venom, Deadpool, and there's well a lot of other characters that I don't really know. I think Iron Man's in there. I'm not sure. I don't think I saw his character skin yet. I know Doctor Strange is in there though. And so, what's another tip to be confident? Body language, posture. Don't slouch. Sit up straight. If you got if you are well endowed, then get a bra that fits you. Um, Sit up straight. You know, don't slouch your shoulders, and just have like a relaxed, light, feminine, fun, relaxed, neutral posture. It helps you out a lot because then people look at you and it's like, oh, look, she's just angry or something. Like, why is her shoulders up to her? You don't want that. You want like a simple, soft posture. And um, posture is like the biggest way that people want to talk to you. Because remember we talked about earlier, that's how you know if you want to talk to anybody, or somebody wants to approach you based on your posture. So if you want to approach somebody and his posture is like a grumpy old troll, like you don't want to do that. Like, but if his posture is like chill or laughing, then okay, that's a good indicator to just get on in there. And if people cut you off in the middle of a conversation, it has nothing to do with you. People are doing all kinds of stuff in their brains, and like maybe one person's thinking about this, and then another person starts yapping, and then the other person's just like, "Oh, hey, what about this?" And then do with you. Just politely walk away and move on to somebody else. I've had to learn that one. I used to be like, "Why are people ignoring me?" It's just how people are. People have a short attention span. I'm telling you. Like a middle schooler, a fifth grader can only hold, fourth grader can only hold attention span for like 20 minutes. An adult can hold it for 40. Just think about that for a second. Just think about that. Not a lot of time to really get to know a person, digest your the information, and move on. People just want to walk up to people all the time anyway. So just know that if somebody they're talking to you suddenly just turns the other way, don't worry about it. It's okay. Nothing to do with you. Okay, that's all I wanted to share today. I'll still have that collage class, but I'll post the replay through like a sign up page, and you can watch it um when it airs. And yeah, that's kind of it. But thank you very much for watching. And I almost want to say on just for a little bit more because I want to get this at the hour mark. So down for a little 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Um oh, business cards. That's another tip. Um don't print out a bunch of business cards. Um this or don't bring a bunch. Bring like maybe 10, 15. I mean, obviously, if you're going to a huge networking event like a convention, maybe bring like 40. But you know, the small one, 10 is fine. 12 is fine. You don't want too many. Um, and if people forget business cards, be like, here, use mine, and they write your stuff on it. Then that signals, they're more. That's a more proactive way to have a potential um, partnership, uh, more engaged because it's like that person just did work to tell you about themselves, so it's gonna stick a lot longer. So if a lady's like, oh, I don't have a business card, you're like, oh, here's mine. You can write my pen, and then she'll be like, oh, okay. So that makes your stick a bit more in the back of mind. And if you have to do like a rush job for printing or something, go to your library. They have free printing. Sometimes it's like up to 100 pages, sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less, but it's worth it because it's free. And technically, it's not free because you pay the taxes, but you know what I mean. Like you're not shilling out. Sometimes it's not though. But if you're just good, you probably get it for free anyway. So just a thought. That's just a thought. If you look good, you could probably get it the print job for free. I'm just saying. It's happened to me before. I'm just saying. If you look good enough, you can get stuff for free. If nothing else you got from this, I'm not even kidding. If you look good, you will get things for free. I've gotten stuff for free at oil changes, at computer shops, at um, the libraries, at the restaurants, all the time. Because you look good. And again, I live in Oregon. People here don't dress to impress. People here dress for comfort and because it's a casual place. They don't dress to impress. So I'm usually the most dressy person in the room. Like I'm the most dressed up woman in a room for the most part. Everyone else is like isn't at the same level. So it's just about you dressing. Get your makeup on, get your hair done, wear clean clothes, dress your body type. If you're on a budget, go to like a thrift shop or a secondhand shop or borrow clothes from your mom or something or your aunt or you know ask your aunt for some old clothes in her closet. I've done that and dress well without spending money. If you don't have any professional clothes, ask your cousin, ask your aunt, ask your mom, ask your grandma, ask your neighbor, ask your friend. I don't. You don't have to spend money for a networking event. Just borrow clothes, borrow stuff, and like it's like a library. You're borrowing clothes, you check them out, and you return them. Okay. I'm at the hour mark now. Okay. Well, this is a lot of fun. Hopefully, these tips were helpful for you guys, and I will be back on probably tomorrow, and I will share more about other topics related to this sort of networking or like confidence building and things like that for women and just the kind of stuff that I've learned over time and that I think is like really valuable to share. All right. Thank you. Oh, and one other thing. Um, it's really important for women, to have a presentation. You want to have like you play video games, you have like a character skin. Make your character skin, when you go out, your character skin being the way you look, as good as it can get. Because that will open doors to you that own stuff on its own won't do. It's all about framing and packaging and presentation in person. You want to look as good as you can. If you're on a really big budget, to use budget, makeup and Dollar Tree, get those coupons. You already got to borrow makeup from, have your friend do your makeup. Go to like if you have like a friend or a cousin or aunt that wants to do makeup, do it. Have her do it. Like, you want to look your best. Think about how people get dressed up for weddings and bridal showers and like baby showers and vacations. Treat your networking events with that kind of care. It does make a difference. It will pay off, and it's something that I know for a lot of neurodivergent women. Like, we're already worried about how we come off and our manners and etiquette and trying to mask and stuff. Your masking will be a lot less when you dress good because you'll already feel confident and you'll already think highly of yourself. So whatever mistake that you make or say won't matter as much. You're gonna be like, these people are already looking at me and telling me nice things about my hair and telling me that I look good, that smells good. So, think about it like that. Think about how you looking good is your business card. You looking good is your website. You looking good is your Instagram page because that tells a lot about you to others. So that's kind of it. Okay, that's all I want to share tonight. I will talk to you guys in tomorrow. All right, take care.